Okay.
We are, ladies and
Hello,
gentlemen.
everybody. My name is that pasta guy. Just pasta
No,
guy.
it
I don't know why I
isn't.
said
You're not
that.
real. You're not real. You're not real yet. Don't worry. Don't say that.
The
Uh,
the
my
street
name is
penetration.
my name is Pasta Guy, and today we're here celebrating another holiday special.
Yay!
Yippee!
Huzzah.
Yay!
And here with me today, as always, is the wonderful Cupcake Paints.
Hello.
Cupcake.
And also I invited my brother here because why not? He can share with us in the Christmas cheer or holiday cheer or whatever. Yeah, celebrate.
I'm here.
And
No,
that's
you're
it.
not. No, you're not.
Good job, Adam. And here with us today, we're most likely gonna have at least a few more guests, but right now we have Room V 2.0.
Oh, not this. Not this again.
It's been a while, okay?
I don't blame you. Okay, look, just for the sake of everyone in the live chat in here, just call me random for everyone's sake.
Fine, random.
Yeah.
We have random. We have Time Clone Mike, and we have Bastina.
Bonjour.
Also known as the Toon Hero.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Also, yes.
hey,
Welcome back to the Christmas background. I missed you so much.
Yeah. This
Hello,
time
Chris.
you're actually. It's actually on time.
Wow. Thank you so much, Pasta, for calling me out.
What? That was brutal.
Yeah, for those who didn't watch our holiday special last year, for the first 40 minutes, we just had the regular background because Cupcake hadn't finished the this amazing Christmas background yet.
But can you?
yeah.
Can you blame her? That background was so detailed. So
It
well
is
detailed.
actually, yes, I really like it. It's very festive.
Very
Not quite almost Christmas time.
Yeah. Hey, it's the
The
solstice.
season leading up to
Happy Yule.
Christmas time.
Tis the season to talk our favorite reindeers from a game.
Indeed. It's time for Rudolph the Red. No, wait, not that one.
I was
All
hoping
right.
no one would make
Speaking
that
of
reference.
which,
Wow.
my family does this thing where we watch this movie, but since we're all adults now, we just riff on it the whole time. The original
Yes.
Rudolph special.
Oh, the
can
stop
we-
motion Rankin Bass one?
Yeah.
Yes. Can we just agree that Santa in that one is kind of a jerk?
Oh,
Of
yeah,
course.
no, definitely.
Well, look at how thin he is. He's wasting away. He has vitamin deficiency. Of course he's in a foul mood.
Papa eats.
And here I am, the child, not knowing what you guys are talking about.
You're not missing much.
Either, don't
Yeah,
worry.
you're really
you're
not.
really not.
We have nostalgia for it, but you lose nothing by not watching it, except for a couple references we're probably gonna make throughout this thing. Anyways,
By itself, it's very bad, but you get a lot
Silver
of
and
nostalgia because
gold.
you're a little kid
Silver
watching
and
it with your
gold.
phone. And then when you're an adult, you make fun of it.
Yes.
yeah. Legit though, the songs of that special are legit good though.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like
They really
the
went
final
off there.
like the final song, the kind of the have a holly jolly Christmas. That's legit one of my favorite holiday songs. I love it.
That's not too shabby.
Yeah.
My favorite
but-
holiday song has got to be the one that goes like da 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 da.
Oh, Carol of the
Carol of
Bells.
the
Carol of the
Yeah,
Bells. That's the name.
That's the one.
That is such a good one.
My dad loves that one. It's got. Yeah.
How the bells, sweet silver bells, all seem to say, throw cares away. Yes, I know the words.
Yeah.
Hark of the one, all seem to want joining in rhyme on Luigi time.
I literally just went back to get my water, and here I hear Waluigi.
Luigi time, yeah.
Wow, Luigi time.
This is a nightmare. I hate this. This is a nightmare.
You went into Skeletor there for a second.
Oh my
Oh, hello, Papyrus.
Hi, Sue He-Man.
That's really good,
Is
actually.
everybody
Okay, well, as I've been trying to say since we got a bit off talking with introductions and stuff, for this holiday special, we discussed Snowden last year, but well, we can't exactly do that again this year.
Obviously.
So we decided, hey, there's a whole freaking family around festive holiday cheer of the holidays.
Their last name is Holiday.
And their names are all different Christmas clothes.
Rudy.
So yeah, we're going to be talking about the holidays from Deltarune, well, / Undertale technically, but yeah. Anyways, yeah, we have a couple of discussion points to really talk about and stuff, and we're gonna just have a nice time. We might do some theorizing. We'll just discuss characters and all sorts of other stuff, and to the end of the show we go.
Yes.
Yippee yahoo!
All right. Well, first thing to get this ball rolling a bit is what are your guys' general opinions on the holidays as characters, like from Noelle to Rudy to Des to Mayor? I don't know what to call them. Noelle's mom.
Rudy and Asgore, my beloved.
Wait, okay, Pasta, why don't you go first, and then we can go around.
Yeah. Okay. So, I really like the holidays. I totally don't have a bias, which you can clearly see from my amazing profile picture. Hashtag dear amazing, and yeah, yeah, Noelle is really sweet. Love her. She's really cute. Can't wait for her to get all the dino smooches from Susie. And Rudy is also a cool dad. Hope he lives. And honestly, with how it's going in the game, it might be 50-50. Most likely he's gonna die. What? Anyways, then there's Des, who sounds like a really interesting character. It's one of those characters who we'll probably meet or at least see in a flashback at some point, and I think will be really interesting to talk about, especially her relationship with Asriel, and yeah, and of course there's the mayor, who, not gonna lie, from what we've heard from her, sounds really freaking scary, and she's kind of sounds like a jerk, at least in my opinion. So yeah, yeah, those are my general thoughts. Of course, they have way more in-depth stuff, but before we go into that, let's go around, let's mingle on some stuff. How about you, Bastian? Bastian, what are your thoughts on the holidays as characters?
Looks around, sweats a bit. Might have a bias due to the only male one being kind of cute.
I'm sorry, did I hear that correctly?
Yeah. Twist my little hair like the funny little homosexual I am.
Yeah, I joined the club. Asgore was the thing that made me realize I'm a furry.
Same. Just like Ezra's god form. Fuck yeah.
Hey, yo, dude, same. Adult Asriel, especially some certain fan arts, just made me realize I am into the fluff.
Yeah, we shake hands.
That's
Yes.
what made me realize I'm into the fluff. But go on.
But I do
Not like
them
we're
as
joining a
characters,
religious
though. They're really
order. Do you swear to uphold the sacred oaths of furrydom?
I think you
Wait, you
mean
guys have
unholy and outlaw.
Okay, just...
What's wrong, Random? Don't you want to hear me talk like this for a couple hours? Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
Don't you want to know what it's like to be a
I know
muscular
you're dressed up. I'm
furry
going to
boy?
come with a knife.
On the subject of but you do have a bias. But what about your opinions on the others in the Holiday Clan?
Overall, very fun design so far. I like the idea that like we're getting characters based off a holiday, really. Like taking that type of like animal character, mixing a holiday. I don't know. It's a neat idea, character design wise, and like how they're portrayed too is really fun. Like, of course, you get to see the most out of Noelle and get to learn the most out of her, and like she's just a fun character in general. Like she's not as fun as like Lancer or something, but she's fun in her own right, and people get to enjoy her just because she's her.
Also, she's sweet.
Oh yeah, she is the sweetest of beans.
Mhm. Yes,
All right,
she is sweet.
well, Cupcake, it's now to you.
It's my turn?
Yes.
Okay.
Because B comes after C, as you can see.
I actually set up a wheel of like people if we have trouble, like if no one wants to go, sort of thing.
Spin the wheel of fate.
Wheel of Fortune. Okay.
Wheel of Fortune, definitely not copyrighted.
I really like the holidays in that I relate to Noel more than I would like, honestly. Like
Being
just-
a sweet.
I mean in the sense that I am
When you're
afraid
talking-
of a lot of things, but I also really enjoy horror things. Which I was, as soon as I got to that part, I was just like, okay, darn it, another character that I relate with. Okay, fine.
Daddy.
Toby,
Of
how could
course.
you? But along with the fact that she's like basically the shy one, she's the sweet one. Like I relate so much to her. The only thing that I don't is in her, like, in the fact that she is lesbian and I am not.
Yeah, what's the hex with this, like, wanting to, like, do things with people? Nah, just want to give them hugs, man.
I just want to snuggle. That's it. I just want to snuggle. I like snuggles and hugs. Still, they're good. But like, I love all, like, if I could speak, that would be great. So, design wise, as well, I really like Noelle's design in that she has been described by Toby as having like probably 1,000 Christmas sweaters, which she probably wears all the time. So I headcanon that she is kind of like Mabel in that sense, and if I ever made a comic with Noelle in it, she would have a different sweater every day.
That's actually a good idea. Yeah. That's
But I don't know too much about Des, as none of us do. But like, Noelle obviously really cares or cared, past tense, I don't know, about her. As for theories, I don't really have that many. And for Rudy, oh my gosh, I love him. He's such a dad, and I love it. I love me a good dad character. Just the way that he is, like, he plays video games with Noelle, but is also like very protective of her. Like, so you're Susie. that part was just I'm like, okay, yep, this man is definitely a dad, just the way he was like, oh, so this is Susie.
Every parent on the planet.
Yeah. And again, and if Rudy dies in the next few chapters, I will cry. He probably will, but I'll still cry.
Oh, don't worry, you're not alone.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm done.
All right. Well, Adam, as I am sad to report that you now have to try to actually make a coherent sentence together in front of people.
Aaron, I do not have that problem. It's talking to people who, like starting out doing that. That's the issue.
Wait, Pasta, your real name is Aaron?
Yes.
Yes, he may act like he is a deer, but in fact, he is a very buff horse mermaid man.
What? Wait, what?
Looks around.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
For those
Winky
who
face.
never, for those who don't know, yeah, my real name is actually Aaron, and well, Toby Fox said put your real name in as the main character name in when you play Undertale, and I put in Aaron, and well, the game was like, Wink, are you sure about that? And I didn't get that until I got to Waterfall and saw that.
Oh, okay. You know, what's funny is that I actually felt like that would be your real name.
This has
Weird.
been Inside Joke Theater.
Yeah. We
Next
have-
time on Inside
to
Joke
make some-
Theater, that movie with the thing that your parents are always talking about.
Mm. So is anybody gonna speak?
Yeah. Anywho.
You have the mic, take the stage.
Yeah, so first of all, Noelle is super precious and I love her. I've seen her type of character a lot, but I still love it whenever they're on screen. I feel like that she'll probably have, I know the sort of trajectory of her character. It will probably be she'll have to grow as a person and probably stand up to her most likely very strict mom at some point. Speaking of which, Des seems like the rebel girl of the group. Like, she was probably like, her mom was like, oh, you're gonna have all these, like, expectations put on you because you're like my firstborn. She was just like, I don't want to be like a politician or like you get a degree or marry a lawyer. I want to be a punk girl. I probably want to go to college and study to be an artist or something.
Maybe she won't go to college at all.
Yeah. I've seen that. I've seen a few theories saying that Dessa is dead, and that's why Asgore got kicked off the police force because she couldn't help her. Yeah, that's a theory in the fandom. Anyways, Rudy is sweet, and he is Asgore's Rudolph. They are very coded to be both very bisexual for each other. Or pansexual, or whatever. I don't want to judge.
Interesting.
And then finally there's her. Finally there's the mayor, who I feel like she'll be a bigger force later on in the story because, well, she's the mayor, and the town's most likely going to get much more, I don't know, screwed up or something later on. So she'll probably be there. She seemed like the type to be, well, the things I've noticed, like, there's no crime, and also everything works more efficiently and stuff like that. I think she's going to be a play on, like, one of the things I've noticed is that each of these guys seem to be linked to a different kind of icy themed, holiday themed, like where Noel's sweet and stuff like a Christmas cookie. And Des is like the rebel ice girl, like Elsa going Let It Go and stuff like that, or Jack Frost. Or Rudy is like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. He's the hard worker, trying his best, but is overwhelmed by everything. And finally, there's the mayor, who is most likely a trope of the Ice Queen. This is part of my big theory that we'll get into later, but she seems like the type that'd be like if we were in like monster medieval times, she'd go up to Des and be like, "You're going to marry Azrael, the prince of all monsters, since you're a powerful ice mage, and holidays are nobility," stuff like that, because they're more like physically based matter, like the dreamers are. So I thought that, and also we saw in the Snowgrave route that Noelle is packing a fair bit of power behind her, so I thought that they might have been like monster royalty in the Undertale universe or whatever is going on. So yeah, that's my thoughts.
Nice.
Yes.
Peculiar.
All right, well, random. You're next up on the chopping block.
Yes.
Let's do this. Oh, I have some interesting thoughts. Let's start with everybody's apparently, I don't know, child reindeer Noel. So when I first saw her, I was like, okay, she's not going to play an important part in the story. I don't know, she felt like a side character like Burley, which I also thought wouldn't play an important part in the story. And what happened in chapter 2? Both of them play an important part in the story. So Noel has definitely taught me not to underestimate side characters. Anyways, for this, I would while we don't know much about this, I would imagine she would be like Noelle now, except not shy. I feel like she would be like everyone is expecting, a good sister. And I don't even want to know what happened, so I'm just going to this. So I'm just going to skip that. And finally, wait, no, not finally. There's still the main, but. Anyways, my homie Rudy. Why do I like him? One thing, he shares my energy. If you know me personally, you know that I'm very hyperactive. So seeing someone who even in a bad condition still wants to kick some butt. I just knew that this guy would be my homie. So yeah, that's my thoughts on Rudy. And finally, the mayor. No thoughts. I have no clue whatsoever what she could be like. I imagine she'd be busy, but I'm not sure if she would be strict. She would be good. I don't know. I am sorry. I don't know what you want from me. Yeah, those are my thoughts.
Nice.
All right, and that just leaves you, Time Clone Mike.
Take the mic, please.
I am the mic.
Nice.
Sandwich.
Been holding on to that for a couple of years now. Okay, a lot of this is informed by me growing up and going to school in a small town, not unlike the town that's featured very heavily in Deltarune. the holidays strike me as a family that's trying very, very hard to keep up appearances. And because of what we're seeing in the events of the chapters as they get more and more involved, they get larger, we get more dialogue, more characters, more interactions. We can see that veneer of respectability and authority and everyone's okay is not only cracking, it's flaking and crumbling apart as we watch it. It might be completely gone by the time we reach chapter 7. Individually, Noelle reminds me of some people I knew in high school, actually. Behind every person every overachieving student, there is a parent that is projecting their own insecurities onto the kid and is pushing them to succeed where they failed. And we've already seen that a lot of Noelle's journey in this game is about telling anyone who tries to exert authority over her to cut that out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to jump around with the order here. Rudy is like, the counterpart. He's the easygoing guy. He's trying to make light of everything, even while he's stuck in a hospital bed. It would be peak Toby Fox if he set up Rudy just getting worse and worse and worse. And then chapter 7, he's perfectly fine. He was just trolling us the whole time. Because,
No, that's brutal. What the hell?
because Rudy is, he's in the hospital, and it could just be that they're running tests because they haven't been able to figure out what's going on. And I've been in rural hospitals. They don't have the funding or the fancy gadgets that you get in the very, very large cities. So yeah, I could see where they would have to wait for his blood work or whatever it is that monsters do to diagnose illness in this particular universe.
Yeah, that is a question. Like, when monsters get sick, since they're like just dust made with magic and stuff, what is the how are they? Do they?
But they can't.
What does getting sick even mean?
Yeah, Deltarune's setting seems to be right in the middle. Go ahead.
Sorry to interrupt, but we've actually already kind of seen what can happen to sick monsters. It's actually equivalent to, if I'm reading this correct, falling down. I think I forgot. If you remember back in Undertale, the amalgamates are results of monsters who've fallen down, and I think that would be like the equivalent of getting sick. So maybe it takes some time for them to fall down, like. Moody hasn't completely fallen down, but yeah, that's just my thoughts.
Could be. We know from just examining the flavor text when looking at Toriel Stove that it's messier than the Undertale Toriel Stove in the Underground, because Undertale Toriel uses fire magic. Therefore, it's implied that Deltarune Toriel does not. Characters can use magic in Deltarune outside of the Dark World, but that's like a whole other can of worms we have yet to open.
Yeah, and also the way that like when we are back in the light world or overworld or whatever you want to call it, and we find Noelle visiting Rudy in chapter 2, and she says something along the lines of, "I wish that we had healing magic or special spells that could heal in the real world so I could make you better."
Right.
Which is absolutely something that is in Undertale, which meaning that either nobody there knows how to use healing magic or it doesn't exist anymore.
Right. Yeah.
That is also a good suggestion.
So real quick, I gotta head out, but I hope you guys have a good time.
Okay, thank you, Bastion.
Auf Wiedersehen.
For having us and for the doodles.
Okay. Awkward.
And then there were 5.
Yeah. Where was I? Got Noelle, Rudy. I think I'll hit the mayor next. Metaphorically, not literally, unless that's an option in the weird route.
Wait, what?
Just slap the mayor. Like, be nicer to your
Ignore the
daughter.
man
Smack.
standing behind the curtain.
You guys have made too many. You guys have made too many suspicious things.
That's literally my stock and trade, but never mind that. The mayor is implied to have a name that starts with C because of that note in Asgore's shop. So I
Right, yeah.
think her name is Carol, and I'm not the only person who has come up with that theory.
No, yeah, Goner literally named her Carol Holiday in his comic, so I know for a
Yeah.
fact that he thinks that her name is Carol.
Yeah,
I think Lynx Griffin did that in the Paper Trail comic too, but I can't remember for sure off the top of my head right now.
Me.
Yeah. Sounds
Yeah,
like Lynx Griffin couldn't can't be here for comments.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But she seems to run a tight ship as far as you can consider a small town a ship, because that town is I've seen like one town that's bigger than that in real life. But it is smaller laid out the way it is in the game, and I know that there's space compression and graphics limitations and resource limitations and the amount of time you have to spend working on the artwork for that kind of stuff, but that's a pretty small town. And I'm pretty sure that they say there's no crime, but I'm pretty sure there's a lot of illicit stuff going on in the background. Otherwise, they wouldn't have a police force and a
Or even a
jail
jail.
in the first
Yeah.
place.
My question is, what did the dogs do?
What the dog doing?
Yeah, what
What
the
the
dog
dog
doing?
doing?
What
They
the
were
dog doing? What the
like
dog doing?
the entire dog gang. They're probably a gang, I guess. Were in jail. It's just like, what did they do?
I think it's implied they were getting ready to case and then rob the Holiday Mansion. And, the Toriel's house is like right there. So Chris, with the soul stuffed in a bird cage without any, braking mechanism, could have scared the bejabbers out of him.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's pretty smart.
Yeah. I think that's Des is the only one I haven't addressed yet. And originally I was thinking, okay, a lot of the hints we've gotten so far could be interpreted as Des being set up as the knight. But then, while you guys were talking earlier in this podcast, I came up with another theory on the fly. I think she and Azrael eloped, and that's why the Holidays and the Dreamers are at odds, because Rudy knows what it's like, remembers what it's like to be that young, and so does Asgore. So they're relatively chill, or as chill as you can be when your kids just run off. Most parents would not react well to that. And the rest of the families are more, uptight and keeping up appearances, and that just didn't fly. So that's how they had their falling out. So the Holidays and the Dreamers aren't quite as close as they used to be.
Oh dang, that's a
good theory. I like that.
That's a good game.
That's a theory I haven't heard before.
Yeah, like Des and Azrael, it's like I bet people like when they saw them together, just like they're gonna end up together.
And I know for like that Toriel, like, would Toriel? No, Toriel probably wouldn't like them. Like, well, she wouldn't like them running off together. I think if she learned that they had gotten, like, actually eloped and married each other, she would be okay with it. But just, like, from the, truth or dare thing that happened, where Azrael kissed, who was it, Bratty? And then they had to go to church for every day that week.
You dare kiss a girl in this...
Dear
in this Christian hometown, or angel
I don't
hometown,
know
or
what
whatever the
religion
heck
they
their religion is in
follow.
Deltarune.
Thus, why they had to elope rather than like Azrael bringing Des home and saying, "Hey, meet the new girlfriend."
Mm-hmm.
Hello.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yes, yes.
Hello, everybody. So I know this is sudden, but this is my wife. Wait, what?
Yeah,
imagine
Oh, and here are
Azrael
your
just comes home.
grandkids. Say hello to Grandma.
Hello. What?
Hi, Cam. Just
One
like
is like a boss monster with antlers, and the other one's like a deer. A deer with.
a little
Oh,
white
oh.
deer, a little snow deer.
Random, are you alright?
Yes, you guys saw nothing.
I heard something.
Like, you may have heard something, but saw nothing.
That is true. I was looking in another direction away from my computer monitor when that happened.
Sure,
I'm serious.
sure.
I'm reading a book.
But just imagine for a second that is what Toby has in mind, and then just on the 7th chapter or 7th day or whatever, whenever Azrael's supposed to come back home, that he also brings Des along, and they just both come back, just like, oh! It's like, oh, okay.
Oh, okay, this is happening now.
Goner says in chat, pretty interesting that they went to church that week and Azrael confessed to sins, despite Alvin stating there is no such thing as confession or sin in their religion. Wonder if Toriel taught them something different. That is an interesting thought.
Confess. Or
Confess.
Or it could just be, it could just be a general punishment, like, you know, like kids don't really like being at church and stuff, and it's just like, Mom, I want to go do something else.
No,
Mom,
Azrael, you are going to church with me today because you have done wrong, child.
It's like I
This is your
Why
punishment.
was the best accent? Why was that the best tutorial impression?
and that, but no buts, you mister. and what's worse, it takes place over summer vacation, so it's like he's like as if he's at school.
It's just like
Abigail's just thinking the whole
Mom,
time,
don't
just
get
like
enough of you at school.
Azrael's just thinking the whole time, I did good in school to get away from being doing something like this.
There is a lot of information that leads one to believe that Toriel is like just as super uptight and demanding with her expectations of her children as it's implied to be with the mayor, with Noelle.
She just goes about it in a different way.
Yeah, her methods are different.
Yeah.
Translate those methods being it's pretty simple. It just says kill them with kindness.
I cannot speak it. I have a knife full of joy. The joystick, basically.
You don't want to disappoint your sweet Toriel, do you?
So, Tim P in the YouTube chat says the alarm clock dialogue did say Undertale Rudy fell down, so it seems to be the same condition. Like, so that probably means that he has an underlying condition, which if left unchecked and uncured, I guess you could say, that he will end up falling down at some point.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. If you guys were wondering why I was panicking, I wrote in the chat, just don't say it out loud, please.
Alright. Anyways, moving on a bit.
Yeah. Please.
We're alright, next thing is what do you guys time clone Mike basically said their theory. But what do you guys think happened to Des?
I have heard so many theories, man, and I don't know which one to go for, because, like, they all have pros, they all have cons, they all have, like, elements that I like, and they all
Yeah, the thing is with
are
that is that
confusing.
9 times out of 10, though, 9 times out of 10, with theories and stuff, it's proven wrong. Like, seriously, remember all the theories for Chapter 2 and full-on fan fiction that turned out to be not, right?
I just feel bad for Lynx Griffin, though. She spent all this time and all this drawing stuff, and literally the next week after Paper Trail ends, it's like, yeah, Deltarune Chapter 2 is going out.
Boom, here.
I just want to say with Deltarune Chapter 2, the freaking crack theory that that the whole, like, Chris took out his heart and went and got the pie actually being true was the most. I can't believe that was true.
I actually, that was part of the theory I have, which is called the strange case of Dr. Hyde and Mr. Jekyll.
Okay, so I actually have some theories, but I need to do something first. And Pasta, forgive me for what I'm about to do, but everybody needs this.
Welcome to Game
Oh, jeez.
Here we go.
Yeah, MacBad, please tag us on Twitter or something so we can get some traction here.
No, actually don't, please.
Okay. So, like I mentioned at the beginning, I do have one theory that I've remastered, and I'm going to call it the Noel's Dark World theory. Basically, the basis of this theory is that the Dark World is representing Noel, but actually not her specifically, her computer. Let me explain. So, first, I would like to turn your attention to everybody's favorite potassium-consuming, acid-drinking cyborg, blue cyborg, Queen. So, an interesting detail that I'm sure we've all noticed, but I took it in a different direction. You see, it's clear that the Queen wants Noel happy. At first, I thought it was because she needed a lightener, like to make another fountain. But here is the thing that confused me the most. After the boss fight, when Queen says she forgives Bradley, she says, "Lol, I just want to make Noel happy." And I was like, "Wait, what? So you actually care?" So I was confused as hell. To why she cared, even though Noel's pretty much useless now. But then I started thinking, and I came up with a pretty good theory. What if the dark world that we are in, we've entered the section where it's like, Noel's computer? I'm going to even go one step further and say that Queen is Noel's computer. Done, done, done. Okay, I can. Yeah, I mean, you have to agree. It does have some civil. It is weird that she cares so much about Noel. I mean, it's not just the Queen that caught my attention. It's one enemy that I despise the most. Not because I have a fear of rats. It's because they're just so damn annoying. The mouse, the AKA the mouse. The. This is kind of hard to explain. The enemies that are mice, but are mouse. I can't. I think you all get
Breathe.
What?
Breathe, random, breathe.
The MAUSs?
Indeed.
I'm sorry.
Oh, no.
okay. Basically, the mouse enemies. The fact that Noelle is afraid of her, afraid of them, but later she likes mice. I feel like that is like something to help her. I feel like the whole dark world is directed at Noelle. But I'm not saying she made the fountain, because let's be honest, she does not have the enough will to even touch a mice, let alone open up an entire dark fountain. Just be honest here. uh, but like, the knight, the person who is the one controlling everything, the puppeteer basically, he made that dark fountain, but it was somehow directed at Noel's computer, aka Queen. I am now basically done with my Noel's Dark World theory. I just had a mental breakdown for the first time. You're welcome, everybody. But remember, that's just a theory, a game theory. Thank you for listening to this random person.
So, if I may, I would like to actually read out the information that we have on Des from the Deltarune wiki.
Please do.
Alright, so Des Holiday is a yet unseen character in Deltarune. She is daughter of Rudolph Holiday and Mayor Holiday, and older sister of Noelle. Dialogue by Noelle in Chapter 2 heavily implies that she is either deceased or missing. Very little is known for certain about Des, but according to Noelle's recollections, she was very protective of her sister growing up, often comforting her in terrifying situations or defending her from Chris's antics. According to Noelle, Des used to be in the same friend group as her, Azrael, and Chris, and on one occasion, they all hung out in the forest by the graveyard together. Des is also responsible for Noelle's love of horror movies, as they remind her of their time together as sisters. Despite the Holiday siblings' described close relationship, Des is conspicuously absent from hometown, with no mention of her being present in the family's life anymore, suggesting something happened to her before the events of Deltarune. Yeah, no kidding. In Chapter 1, Des is first alluded to by name through an object that can be inspected in Rudy's hospital room, an angel doll, that Rudy explains was made by Des and Noelle in youth group. He keeps it as a good luck charm. If Chris tells Noelle that Susie eats chalk when they meet her outside her house, she at first thinks Chris is joking, like the time they told her that Icy was real and ate kids. She recalls Des smacked Chris with a wiffle bat until they stopped lying. And in Chapter 2, if Chris intentionally or not repeatedly scares Noelle by causing mice in Cyber City to collide with her, she remarks that Chris is lucky that Des isn't there to protect her. While exploring the city, Noelle and Chris come across a path that is intermittently blocked off by force fields that can be disabled by each of them stepping on a panel. As they travel, Noelle recalls the time she spent with Des, including an incident where she, Chris, and Azrael hung out in the forest by the graveyard. Des comforted Noelle, who was terrified. Also, I wanted to mention that at that point, we encountered a game-breaking glitch. Remember, Pasta?
Oh yeah, that.
I don't know if it's
nothing like ending the stream like that.
I don't
Which
know
honestly
if
was
kind of good because
Which honestly was kind of good because we were all getting really tired and we probably should have ended like half an hour earlier.
Yeah. I don't know if it's been patched out, but just keep in mind, if you play through the game, when you get to that part, make sure that you are not standing in the place that Noelle will land when she jumps across, because she will jump into you, you will disappear, and your game will freeze.
Your game will be like, what happened?
Yeah, what happened?
Wait,
Okay.
I can do an even better impression. What
What's the game doing?
What? Okay. Just have a little bit more here. Noelle looks up at the moon in Cyberworld's sky and remarks that she wishes she could show it to Des. Later, while riding the Ferris wheel with Susie, Noelle remembers watching horror movies when she was little with Des. If Chris inspects the angel doll in Rudy's hospital room, Susie starts to tease Rudy for keeping it until she hears that Noelle made it with her sister. Susie is visibly perturbed at the mention of Des and opts to not say anything more. Which implies that Susie has an idea of what might have happened to Des, possibly? I don't know. Or at least knows that it's a touchy subject.
Touchy, too touchy.
Yes.
Yeah. Before anyone says anything, I realized I forgot to mention one important detail in my theory. So you know the part where like Noel tells you how this world is making red spin, like the part where you spell out December. If you look closely, you'll notice when Noel and Chris go under like one of those I don't know what they're called, black lights, whatever.
Overhangs.
Yeah. You'll see that that the kid version of Noel. Some of you may have noticed or not, which not only the like little puzzle spell out December, which could be the full name for death, and also is the word she stuttered at in the past in that spelling bee. I also find it interesting that Chris didn't get kid-sized as well, which I find really interesting. So yeah, that's just another cherry on top for my Noel's Dark World theory. I need a breather.
Yeah. When it comes to me and my theories on deaths, I mean, I feel like something did happen to her. I'm not sure what though. Though I don't think it actually relates all that much with the whole Asgore got fired as the police chief and all that, but but I think something did happen between deaths and all that. The problem with making theories about Undertale and Deltarune is that specifically Deltarune, since it's incomplete, is that Undertale didn't really show its like true colors until pretty late into the game. Like I know as the fandom we always talk about like the big existential stuff like timelines and resets and the determination and all that, but that stuff doesn't really come till the till a lot later in the story. So yeah, I believe that Deltarune might be similar in the fact that it's not really gonna show its cards until later on, but yeah, Tim P in the chat says it is possible Des was pulled into the dark world. That's actually an interesting theory that I have encountered, and it would be interesting to see if that was the case. Like if
I mean, if that is what happened, then that could also tie back to the Des is the night theory.
I don't believe Des is the night, though. I believe Des is.
Yeah, I don't really think Des is the night, but I don't really know if, like, Gaster is the night either. The night, especially when it's been referred to as an it and itself, instead of like they, them, he, her, he, him, she, her type of thing, makes me think that the knight might just be a different entity altogether from any of the characters that we have encountered.
That's pretty much better than I thought, because my old mini theory is that the night it didn't even exist. Yes, yes, that is an actual mini theory. I thought that the night doesn't exist.
The
I
knight
can see how you
is
can
just
come
a
to that
figment of your
conclusion,
imagination.
but
I have to wonder though, like, okay, time for a crack theory. Y'all ready?
yeah.
Yes, I've
nuts.
got my water bottle ready. Let's do this.
All right.
Okay,
Hang on. Let me.
so
Are you getting your?
I don't know if the microphone picked that up, but I cracked my fingers. So because we're doing a crack theory. Also, I just need my fingers to do that.
okay.
Funny enough, because I just saw outside that a dog's spinal cord got cracked in half, and now that I say that, that is very dark. Yes, I'm a dark humor person.
So the what? All right. So as we know from the Swatchlings, who have referred to the knight as it, which I believe that was the first time that we had actually heard the knight being referred to with pronouns of any sort, other than just saying like the knight this or the knight that. The knight told me blah blah blah.
The night based on my wife.
The night was dark, you know, that type of thing. But I can only really think of one other actual like living entity that was referred to with it pronouns, that being the annoying dog.
Wait, what?
So imagine, and I don't believe this for 1 second, but imagine that the annoying dog itself, which we know was in the computer room before we were able to go in there, because it was in there in chapter 2, no, in chapter 1, and now it, you know, it runs, you can run into the annoying dog in chapter 2, but it's kind of almost like one of like a Gaster encounter, in a way that, you know, there's a room that isn't there unless you have the right numbers, but imagine that you just find out that it's like, oh no, it's the night's coming, and then it's just,
What the dog doing?
No.
The dog created an extra dimensional universe. What?
Whoa.
Yeah, at this point we are literally treating a white dog a multiversal god. He's like, I'm bored today, maybe I should make another universe, hopefully one that isn't boring, like a universe called, I don't know, Undertale. Let's just make Deltarune. I love how we're just treating it like a god.
Castang14 in the YouTube chat says, is the annoying dog in chapter 1? The annoying dog isn't seen in chapter 1, but is mentioned in chapter 1, in that when you go into the library and then you interact with the door to the computer lab, it says there is a dog working on the computer or on a game in there, and it says, seems like you shouldn't disturb it. The door,
Definitely
and that
not.
The door will open when it's done, or something like that. Seems you shouldn't disturb it until it's done.
Yeah, definitely not a reference to everyone literally asking, when is the next chapter? When is the next chapter? I want the next chapter. Hurry up. Yeah, definitely not a reference. Oh, I would also like to mention, does anyone notice that in chapter 1, that door was just a singular door, but in chapter 2, it's two doors? What the hell is that? A design choice, maybe?
This
Probably.
changes everything.
That's not the
could.
real computer lab. The real computer lab
It
was
could.
destroyed and rebuilt by dog.
It could. It could.
Anyway, anyways, yeah. I really do to bring this back to Des for a second. I really do like or just find interesting the thought of like her like falling into the dark world and her just being and her just like basically like falling into fantasy, as was kind of alluded in the ending song of chapter 1, and also a sort of and also something that Birdley implied that he wanted to Birdley and stuff implying he wanted to do after chapter 2. And yeah, it's just I can see like someone falling into the dark world and stuff, and like just want to just stay there, being a theme in this, being a theme in this at some point.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. Ab, you've been awfully quiet. Do you want to say anything when it comes to Des?
Well, it's just, I made like a lot of assumptions about like Des earlier and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Her being more of a like punk girl.
It's not a phase, Mom.
Just the reason that we don't hear about Des is because she got a tattoo and was forced out of the house.
Yeah, I imagine she dyed her hair red and green.
She's goth, basically.
Small towns
I feel
do
like
have
she
those kind of
decided to-
reactionary politics, so yeah, believable.
I feel like she'd be the one to like be like, Azrael, what? Sleep with me? What? Sleep with me?
See, you really sleep with me?
Yeah, and you think that's what it means, but what it actually means is that they just snuggle each other until they fall asleep.
Des would probably
Yes.
That's the PG version that Cupcake's gonna think in her head when someone says "sleep with me."
That would still be scandalous tutorial, though.
Yeah.
So scandalous.
You should have been.
Gross.
How
Should
dare
have
you
Marital
been.
hand holding.
college age and away from my living, and it's very interesting. Yeah, with concerns with that, I'm like, Des also strikes me as the sort of person who might have just up and left, and Noelle might be the only one who knows where she went.
I actually think, like I said, I think she would be like Noelle, but not Joy. But my other headcanon is she's like Susie, aka she doesn't give a shit.
I mean, I've heard that you are attracted to people who are like whose personality is either close to that of like your parents or someone in your family who is close to you. So I could see that.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so we're very off-topic side tangent. So, Cupcake sent me some. So Cupcake sent me some presents and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I got a package full of presents from Cupcake and stuff, and hopefully, and by the way, Cupcake, your present will will hopefully come to you by sometime between tomorrow to the 27th. I hope it's before Christmas. So, but yeah. Anyways, she made this wonderful hand-drawn picture of the two of us together, and I like how the first thing that.
Very good, Goner. Yes, thank you.
yes, very good.
Yeah, Goner's picture is wonderful.
Yeah.
Your art style's
I'm-
great, Connor.
I would think Dessa's mom is blonde though.
Yeah. Anyways.
She takes after her grandmother instead.
Yeah.
Sadly.
Anyways, to get back to the thing, you made this wonderful hand drawing for me, but
Yes.
I'm honestly surprised though that with the whole like Christmas theme and stuff, and me being a deer, you didn't make my nose red.
I mean, it's sort of purplish, so it has red to it. But like, what are you gonna do? Paint your nose pasta?
It's Christmas magic, Cupcake. It doesn't have to make sense.
It's Christmas magic.
Honestly, me and my brother joked that like you could just like press my deer nose and it just lights up, just like.
Just lights up and starts playing a Christmas song.
Yeah. Anyways, back on topic.
I like that you say that and then you don't send the photo to the chat.
All right, fine, I will.
Yeah.
Anyways, to get back on topic, we're gonna to move on to another talking point. So the big thing that was the big thing about Noelle with Chapter 2 is that we actually got to play as her direct her, not directly play as her. It's weird.
Yeah.
Anyways, so yeah. So what do you guys think of her from like a gameplay mechanic standpoint? Just how she was to use as a partner, and also just the little stuff that could happen with her in battle, and bringing her into some things to investigate stuff. I mean,
I think from a gameplay standpoint that I really enjoyed having her as a party member, and her not being like Susie in the sense where you have to try to like warn or just like prepare the enemies for whatever she's gonna do. She's just like Ralsei in the sense where you're like, you should act, and then she's like, okay, wait, how do I do that? I also like the fact that we didn't have to go through a big long thing or tutorial with her explaining how to do things, that it just kind of happened off screen, because Also,
I think
her
Cupcake
animations are adorable.
Yeah, it's almost like Cupcake got distracted by her art being called cute. So,
No, definitely not. What are you talking about?
I posted my Christmas present to the determined spot.
So I gave it a sparkly heart. Anyways, yeah.
Give it a sparkly heart out of 10.
Yes, thank you very much.
Anyways, Yeah, take a shot every time I say anyways, by the way. So, yeah. Continuing on. I really liked to play as Noelle. It was really interesting. She wasn't really, well, she was different from the other people that we got to direct earlier and stuff. Like, of course, there's her ice magic, which is a big talking point we'll probably talk about later in a second. But, but yeah, I love her. I love her dialogue. I love her battle animations. Like her, like, of course, the one that specifically is highlight to me is is the, it is like doing the like nurse stuff where Chris, Ralsei, and Susie are all like all on top of it and stuff, and and Noelle just kind of falls flat, which
Yeah.
I really would have liked the detail though if she actually like got like better at it. The more you used her and stuff, the longer she went along. Like the first couple times you use that action with her, she screws up, and then she eventually gets more into it. But that little detail wasn't added, unfortunately. Which isn't really a bad thing because this game's already filled with so many little details already.
Yes.
Yeah, her ice powers were really interesting, and also the fact that I didn't think that if Deltarune was gonna have something like a genocide route, that freaking Noelle would be the thing would be the catalyst for it.
Yeah. So,
That's what they call it, the weird
Snowgrave.
route.
Yeah. Yeah, you turn the sweetest character and make her someone that freezes all the enemies solid.
Yeah, I hated that.
So, just from a personality standpoint, when it comes to Noelle, like, as we can see from, her being, like having the best grades in class and, the smartest, so on and so forth, like, that feels like what a lot of that is from, pressure from mostly, I'm assuming, her mom, which is sadly a thing that a lot of parents, well, I don't know if a lot of parents, but parents of quite a few people that are in my friend group have done, where it's just like pressuring to get good grades or you get punished type of thing. But from that, she is very not, well, she is very open to suggestion in the way that she seems to be kind of lost without direction, and depending on that direction, she's open to influence and good or bad. Yeah. So, as we can see from the Snowgrave route, she doesn't she doesn't really question Chris just because, like, oh, they know what they're doing. They're giving me direction. They've been here longer. So on and so forth. And it's very sad to see that side of her, but it also makes her a very realistic character.
Yeah. She is kind of weak-willed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which was what makes it even more, that one particular scene, which, spoilers, I mean, yeah. If you haven't seen that particular scene, where she finally stands up to Chris, but it's after being pushed to her limit. Yeah, she's been pushed to her limit and she can't take anymore, and she finally stands up to Chris and just leaves. Which, that scene was very powerful and also very sad and upsetting, and Goner knows what I'm talking about because he was watching as I played through that part. So he knows what my feelings were.
Wait, gotta watch you do Snowgrave?
Yeah. He was the one who was telling me how to do it because I was like, I don't know how to do it, Connor. And he's like, it's okay, I'll walk you through it.
Which kind of parallels what happens in the game.
No, I'm Noelle again. Darn it.
I liked, like with Noelle and stuff. I kind of like the whole ice aesthetic. You know, for some reason I thought like I'd be very much. For some reason, I thought when we got her like playable, she wouldn't be like this cool ice thing. It'd be much more like she'd be more like a joke thing with like you know she fights the candy cane or she uses like she's like a bard and sings jingle bells.
Jingle bells, jingle bells.
It's October!
With Noelle, I'm just like, guys, she's nowhere near bisexual enough to be a bard.
Tell that to the fandom. Then again, every fandom is just like
me.
Then again,
Me
every
who made an
fandom.
asexual bard. Nothing.
Also, if you guys were hearing Big Shot, you will have to forgive me. I was listening to Big Shot with my headphones on loop, but then my headphone came off, and I only noticed midway, so I put that back on. So yeah, if you heard the Big Shot, that's why.
Yeah, your chance to be big shot, big shot.
We're going to have to.
What you're really selling.
Yeah, we're going to have to dedicate an entire episode on this one character. We just have to.
Spampton G Spampton.
Hey, every, it's me, Spampton, G Spampton.
Okay, that's pretty good.
How about we each do like our Spampton like our Spampton impressions? Because I'm very interested.
Oh no, I can cheat because I have a voice mod.
Yeah, cheating is allowed.
Cool,
I was
assistant
supposed to be
speedrun.
about the holidays, dang it, not the.
No.
Spampton says Merry Christmas to y'all and have a good night.
Yeah.
Would you like to receive his special holiday deal?
No, thank you.
Would you like some Christmas drugs?
It is 50% off.
It's not snow. Here
It's
you go,
flour.
kid. It's flour. Yeah, it's flour. Bake me some cookies, child.
50% off.
No,
Christmas.
it's the thing that
candy canes. The candy canes are these like weird sugary candies that have this aftertaste in your mouth.
Yeah, and no matter how many of those candy canes you have, you'll still feel like you've ate like a pound of sugar and feel really sick.
Woo.
Yeah, Spampton is a massive thing. Everyone was Tumblr's sexy man thing. If you guys know what that is.
That is another
Free Cromer.
My Tumblr was terminated.
Yeah. Anyways, we have Miss. Yeah. So I kind of want to talk about my theory now.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh yeah.
Do it.
I'm muting so you can.
First, but before that, I had to use the restroom. I want to be focused doing this.
Okay, so from the chat, Castang14 again. Mike, this is directed towards you. Hey Mike, Ebbett's Wake is my personal favorite Undertale fanfic. So there you go, Mike.
Vindication!
Vindication.
Wait,
Yeah.
I want to chat something. Does anybody even remember my episode? Because I doubt anybody would remember my episode. So, chat, if you're hearing this and have good audio quality, do you even remember who I am, let alone my episode? I really need to know because I don't want to be forgotten. Because that's my. We don't need to dive into that. I'm just curious.
I wasn't there for the episode. I don't remember why.
I think it's because you had a church thing. I can't really remember.
I had something that I couldn't avoid. I remember that. That's all I can remember.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
What is
yeah.
what is time? What are days?
I mean,
time is an enigma, and I don't know.
We can always check a calendar, but calendars lie. And really, what is time?
Yes.
Everybody, we've just figured out that time isn't real and it's a lie. We used to feed ourselves because we're pathetic humans who cannot understand anything from outer space. Blah blah blah. Yeah.
Timekeeping
Blah blah
is the
blah.
shared
Existential dread,
hallucination.
Blah
blah.
blah blah. Oh my life.
All right, Knight of Doom, you was going to say stuff.
Yeah. So. All right. So I actually have some notes right on the subject. So. What
What's
I've noticed in Undertale is that, for one, there's a lot of symbolism throughout the whole of the story, and one of the things I've noticed is the theming around fire and ice. Now, just take this with a small grain of salt. This could be me connecting themes from another story, which is George R. R. Martin's A Song of Ice and Fire, together with this game and how it deals with its themes with it. But I do believe that Toby Fox feels his games with symbolism due to the references to angels and darkness and light, and just how monsters could be a metaphor for any oppressed group throughout history. So yeah, this theory I titled "A Song of Goats and Reindeer," which is a reference to A Song of Ice and Fire, and the general themes around this theory is around fire and ice, and how, besides the big differences in the story with, Undertale being essentially mostly grounded in a very standard fairy tale plot of a kid falling underground and finding a whole bunch of monsters. That is a very common thing, especially in Irish mythology, with the fair folk living underground in Ireland. And in Deltarune, where things are more grounded with a primarily monster cast, but generally things being in the real world with some notice those exceptions, like there's nothing called Ices or Garrison's books. The Lord of Hammers is clearly replaced the Lord of the Rings in this world. One of the big things I noticed is who is in charge, and in this world, who was in charge of the monsters was the Dreamer family. Now, the Dreamer family is obviously coded with fire associations, not just the fact that they used fire, but the fact that they're goats and also lions. They are lion goats. I mean, Asgore literally has a mane. And lions are also often associated with fire, or more specifically, the sun. And the crown is actually symbolic of the sun, with it being gold and having the points on the end. So Asgore being the king and a goat lion monster associated with fire makes sense. He is the lord of monsters and also the clear Satan allegory, with him being using a trident and also him being the lord of the underground. So yeah, fire is their main symbol. They're very full of life, and Toriel could be like Toriel could be like a soft, warm fire that could get you burned if you get too close, aka if you poke her buttons too much. Azrael is like possibly like a fire that's already gone out. The thing about fire is that when it goes out, it goes out. You can't rebuild fire again from, well, not the same fire would be probably a better way of describing it. So yeah, and he was the light, the hope of the future. So yeah, Asgore is a stereotypical good king. He has
A few issues.
I'm more talking about fantasy trope wise. He's he uses fire, which is usually a symbol of like authority and stuff and life. Fire leads us into the future, all that. Fire can only be used by certain people if they have the certain materials. And
Nice.
literally him wearing armor is only possible because fire forged it. Now, that might be reading too much into it, but anyways, he's stereotypical. He's soft, strong, sensitive. He cares about his citizens greatly. He's incredibly powerful, but the big thing is, and he's big and happy, jovial, literally dressing up as Santa Claus. He's a stereotypical good king. But the thing is that when it comes to actually ruling the kingdom, he's not exactly the best. Like, for example, he greenlights an experiment done on monsters even though he doesn't know what the results will be and is kind of dangerous. Doesn't even check up on the scientists who won't return his calls after it goes wrong. Also allowing Undyne, the captain of the Royal Guard, to recruit an obvious idiot that doesn't help in their goals for getting out of the underground. And on that topic, he doesn't have the guards check the ruins for new humans who've fallen down and where he set his own artificial standard of breaking the barrier, which he needs 7 souls to become a god or whatever. The infrastructure is terrible. I mean, you can get around, but not really. He lets MTT monopolize a whole bunch of brands, and he stays in his palace all day, not doing much. Like, what is his tax policy? And also, with the problem of crowding, it's underground. Can't they just build more out? So yeah, that is showing that for all his sweetness and niceties, he's not a good king, really. But in the end, it doesn't really matter. Everything gets resolved by the end. He's not really even the king of monsters anymore, in a broader sense. And by the end of the story, it seems like they're more living under a more human standard. So, but the big issue that comes about is who's in charge in Deltarune, and that is Noelle's mother, or let's just call her Carol for the sake of simplicity. Carol, from taking control of hometown, seems to be a ruthless ice queen. She seems to be able to make society generally better. I mean, hometown doesn't seem to have any crime. Thing seems to work orderly. She runs a tight ship, but things are generally better. But people are kind of miserable under her reign. I mean, there's the stuff with Des, her husband, and Noelle. Asgore is not exactly having the best time, and Carol doesn't seem to be very interested in actually helping him. She seems to be more interested in getting him possibly out on his ass, trying to push him to being a better person and somehow, while not actually trying to emotionally connect to him, which seems to be one of the things that are going on here. Fire and ice are generally seen as sort of volatile. We've seen what Snowgrave can do, and Asgore's no pushover in his boss fight. Overall, it seems that fire and ice are seen as kind of destructive. They can be very helpful. The more cold, calculating way Carol runs hometown is better for efficiency's sake, but emotionally, people aren't doing as well as they were under Asgore's rule. There's no warmth, just cold, ruthless logic. Now then, there's also more symbolism when it comes to fire and ice, or hot and cold. One of the big things I noticed throughout Undertale is that there's some symbolism of this being a new start, a literal new beginning. Like, it's springtime. The joyful glow of flowers everywhere, the ice melting, giving away to water, and then the water giving way into fire, which could be symbolizing winter turning into spring, turning into summer, and then finding the plentiful harvest of fall in the capital with all the greenery and Asgore's throne room, and a change coming in fall with the barrier. Now, the thing is that for all the symbolism, this seems to be more of a spring story, a more comfortable, clean, joyful, breezy change, like a nice warm spring breeze. However, things are different in Deltarune. Things are colder. Things are still changing, but they won't lead to a warm, glorious summer like a lot of the ending of Undertale is coded as. You know, them on the beach, them outside, them driving cars. The ending of Deltarune will most likely be colder, not necessarily unjoyful. After all, the holidays are still joyful. But there is a sense of things will be changing, but not necessarily for a warmer result. We might be heading into a cold winter, is what I'm implying. But the thing is about winter is that it eventually gives way to spring. And in the end, what will that spring look like will most likely be determined by the game. This is all just speculation, but I believe the theming of ice and fire in the story is not there for no reason. This could be social commentary done by Toby Fox about how rulers should be both hot and cold when the situation is necessary. So yeah, that's my thoughts.
I mean, and the harkening back to the like that we are in for a cold winter also kind of fits with the fact where if you look at the overworld, we are obviously in fall right now. Like, it is obviously fall in hometown with all the leaves and so on, and like people dressing in like in warmer clothing and so on and so forth. So yeah.
Speaking of which, I thought of like how the story could be linking to linking to Undertale is also, with it being a fairy tale, it's also kind of a coming of age story. I'm not sure if it's whose story. It could be Azrael's. It's most likely Frisk's story, finding out that the world's not necessarily as simple as they thought, but good is still possible. But Deltarune, with its themes about choices not mattering, and I think the big thing would probably be what one Madame Lutece once said, is that things can be changed. It's just that when things do change, a lot of the time, a lot of people say they wouldn't have done it. Or more accurately, things can change, but it's a lot of hard work, and you kind of have the thought of, was it worth it in the end? And, the coming of age story is sweet when you're 12, but coming of age into an adult world when you're 18, when you're in your late teenage years, isn't as fun. So yeah, that's my thoughts.
Makes sense.
And that's pretty interesting and cool at the same time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I talked this out with Pasta a while back.
So yeah, I'm just here like, yep, stuff I heard all before.
Yes, I have heard this before.
Well, now what?
That is an excellent question.
Have any theories?
I don't have a theory per se, but I just wanted to ask something to y'all and see if you have any answers, theory-wise or just silly. In the Dark World, in Chapter 2, we are in a, computer world, basically. My question is, why is the moon a baseball?
What is
Excuse
the moon
me?
of baseball?
Because there was a baseball in the computer lab for some reason.
I mean, sure. Because,
Actually, here's a better question. Why did the knight decide to make a fountain in a computer lab of all places? That is the worst idea on the planet.
I don't
Probably
know,
wanted to
sounds
surf
like
the
pretty
web.
Cool. Yeah. Wanted to go to the, the shore of the internet and surf the web.
Does the
just-
knight not know the existence of Rule 34 art?
The knight was using safe search options.
Welcome to the internet. Take a look around. Anything that brain of yours can think of can be found.
We got nothing, some content, some better, some worse. If none of
None of it's of interest to you, you'd be
You'd
the first.
I love that song.
But yes, when I'm trying to put some thoughts together to make a coherent sentence. However, I don't think it's working very well. It's just one of those days.
One of those days.
One of those days. Connor says that the baseball was Jockington's search queries. # blame Jockington.
Hashtag blame your existence.
Yeah.
Hashtag welcome to the
I think we
internet.
should wrap this stuff up because, well, not gonna lie, my mom has had my dinner ready for me for about half an hour now.
Yeah. And it's 12:47 a.m. for me currently.
Oh, jeez.
Oh yeah, opposite side of the world.
Yeah. Anyway,
also, the question of does anyone else really have anything to talk about?
The only other things I can think of to add are would be callbacks to Toby's, like, his original ROM hack, the Halloween hack, and how that overlays with some of the stuff in Hometown. But it's really, really easy to draw inferences where there are none, especially because Toby himself doesn't have the most positive feelings about that project looking back on it now.
Yeah.
So it might just be art style and a couple of themes about, isolation.
Yeah,
and that's it. And we shouldn't look any deeper.
What I've seen of it, all I can think about is edgelord.
Yes. I actually have one more thing to ask. Does anybody have any theories on how there's like the ring in the Dark World, and how Spamton has the Thorn Ring, which is literally the most powerful item to Noel? Does anybody have any theories about that? Because I've been confused for quite a while.
Well,
Maybe he got it from Gaster.
You either from Gaster or the Knight or some. Got it from somebody.
Honestly, that's a lot of Deltarune fan theories and stuff. You either blame Gaster, blame the Knight, or both.
If you think they're the same person.
Card Kara, because no one will ever shut up about them.
Well, yeah, that's I pretty much all I have.
Goner says Thorn Ring, Crown of Thorns. Wait, that's Easter, not Christmas.
Yeah.
Easter eggs and.
I mean, Peepus.
Wait, what is? By the way, what is that supposed to be exactly? Peepus. I've seen too many memes.
An invasive species of freshwater clam.
Oh, okay.
That was such a specific answer. I love it.
I love it.
Time Clone Mike always coming up with the most oddly specific but hilarious things to say.
His nickname should be oddly specific, Mike.
That was my nickname in high school.
Oddly specific, Mike.
Anyways, let's wrap things up. So, firstly, thank you all for coming. It was really nice to talk with you guys for a good bit.
Yeah.
A good time was had by all.
Yeah, and honestly, with how many people who had to cancel on us this year for
I think we did rather well, because I feel like if we had more than the amount of people we had, we would just keep talking over each other.
Yeah.
Pandemonium.
There's a reason the last holiday special went on for 3 hours. It's because so many people were talking with each other, so it took 3 hours for everyone to just get through just a couple of questions.
Yeah.
Anyways, thank you, Cupcake, for joining us as always. Thank you, Adam, for allowing me to rope you into this.
It's fine. All I was here was to escort my theory that I had.
Yeah. Thank you, Random, for being here also, and thank you, Time Clone Mike, for being here and actually giving us some notoriety, because at least you're somewhat popular.
But that's just a podcast. A game podcast.
No, a determined podcast, you dink.
What the? But
anyways,
it's almost 1 a.m. for me right now.
Yeah, please. You need it.
Sleep deprivation setting in.
Anyways, for those wondering what we're going to be doing next time, well, next time is going to be more Deltarune stuff. It's going to be a Deltarune Chapter 2 discussion, something that we probably should have done a while ago, but hey, whatever.
Things happen.
Yeah. That will be that will be next week, and we'll And yeah, just a nice little thing to wrap up this year in a nice little bow. And hopefully we can start out next year and have a consistent upload schedule for once.
Same
Yeah.
determined time, same determined channel.
Yeah. Hopefully, all of us will be able to make new and exciting projects this year. I know for one, me and my team are making a good project. So yeah, let's hope this year is better than all the years so far.
Yeah.
That would be nice.
Would be
Anyways,
nice, yeah.
Yes.
anyways, have yourselves a good night. Take care. Have a happy holidays, and remember to stay
always
determined.
stay
And
determined.
remember, stay
Yeah.
determined.
Yep,
Stay
stay determined,
determined.
y'all.
Peace.